Attorney General Eric Holder has tapped two prominent lawyers to head up two separate investigations into leaks of classified national security information. Some say it's a step in the right direction, but it's not quite enough. California Democrat Congressman Adam Schiff serves on the House Intelligence Committee, and he joins us live from Los Angeles. Congressman, thank you very much for your time today.
You've had pleasure.
How concerned are you about these leaks and their impact?
I'm very concerned about it. These leaks are enormously damaging to our national security. They compromise some of our sources of information. They compromise some of our methods. They can put people's very lives at risk. And they serve no constructive purpose. So these are extraordinarily damaging, and we need to get to the bottom of who's responsible.
And I understand that the House Intelligence Committee, at least according to Chairman Mike Rogers, is going to launch an investigation as well. But he's already expressed concerns that some government agencies may not cooperate. He cites the CIA already turning down his request for information. How confident are you that your committee will be able to get some answers?
Well, they're going to have to cooperate with us, and I think they will. We have to recognize there are certain things that could pose a problem for their investigation, that could make it more difficult for them to get to the source of the leaks. That's not something that we want to do. At the same time, we want to make sure, for example, that these prosecutors the Attorney General has appointed have the freedom and latitude to follow the trail wherever it leads. We want to make sure that the intelligence agencies take this issue as seriously as we do, and we know that's the case because it's some of their very personnel and a lot of their hard work that's being compromised. But I'm confident and determined that we get to the bottom of this.
How confident are you that those folks, as you mentioned, will be independent enough that they can pursue where the information takes them? We're talking about a couple of very well-respected U.S. attorneys, but again, there are some who are calling for an independent, outside prosecutor or investigator, someone not connected to the Department of Justice, where there are people internally who have already recused themselves from being involved with these investigations.
I think the Attorney General took an appropriate and strong step in appointing these well-respected prosecutors who are not at Main Justice. They're U.S. attorneys themselves. I think they have the integrity to follow the evidence where it leads. And if they should ever run into opposition, and one of the things I hope we can do in Congress is have a dialogue where we can be assured that they have the latitude that they need. But should they run into a roadblock, I think the responsible thing for them to do would be to either disclose it to Congress, or if they feel their position precludes that, then they need to resign from the investigation, and that alone will call attention that they're not getting the support that they need. But the problem with starting out from the assumption that you have to have a special counsel, that in the past has led to special counsels becoming very lengthy, very expensive fishing expeditions, and I don't think that's the point you want to start out from. So I think it's an appropriate step. I'm confident these gentlemen will do their job. But having prosecuted an espionage case myself, I can tell you these are very tough cases. It's very difficult to get to the bottom of a leak of classified information. And there are very real risks with it, that sometimes if you go forward with a prosecution, you may end up having to disclose more information and do more damage than the original leak itself. So I don't want to make any representation this is going to be easy or that it will necessarily bring about a conviction. But I do want to underscore that we need to pursue every means we can to bring people to justice, and I'm confident that's what the Justice Department will do.
I want to ask you about controversial statements from, in particular, Senator John McCain, who said he believes that some of these things are being leaked in an effort to show that the president is tough on issues involving Iran or, Al-Qaeda, other things like that, to make him look like a tough guy in the midst of a re-election. The president has, responded to those suggestions, not directly to Senator McCain, but to others, saying it's absolutely wrong and he finds it offensive. Do you think there's any grain of truth in that accusation?
No, I don't think that is correct. And, there are two kinds of disclosures of classified information. There are some where information is purposely declassified, and that's appropriate and, in fact, desirable. And I'll give you one illustration. The declassification of the photograph of bin Laden that was seized, where looks like he's watching TV wearing a knit cap on. That one image did more to debunk this whole myth of the AK-47 wielding bin Laden outside the cave than any description could give. So that was an example of a purposeful and important disclosure of previously classified information. But the other kind of leak where it's, I don't know whether it's the aggrandizement of the leaker or what it is, that's really criminal and objectionable and has to be pursued. And the president, though, already has, I think, quite strong bona fides on national security. I don't think he would go to the extraordinary and deleterious length of having people leak information in a non-strategic way to improve his position. I just don't buy it, and I don't think there's any evidence of it. But again, those prosecutors should, wherever the trail leads, if the trail leads to the White House, they should pursue it. If the trail leads to Congress, they should pursue it and let the chips fall where they may.
All right, Congressman Adam Schiff, thank you very much for your time, sir.